All right, guys, this is Shane. I've had a few people ask me about our setup in this last year since we've gotten everything. Got it pretty well where we set it. We took it out for a long trip back in mid-April to just about the second week in May, so we were gone for just about a month out west with Brent, Whiskey 7 Backroads, and Bill and Connie, some friends, and also Gary and Gretchen. We had a little group that we went out with, and on those travels, and then ever since then, we've had some questions about the trailer and the setup and how we do everything. So figured I'd go ahead and start me a little YouTube channel just to stick stuff on here. I mean, everybody else is doing it, why not? And so we'll get that put on here, and it'll be Looking for Dirt is the YouTube channel that I'm going to use. It's LKN4, the number 4, DRT on YouTube. This will probably be the first video that's on it, and we'll go from there with it. So start off with it. Tow rig is a 2011 4Runner. Sorry about that. Tow rig is a 2011 4Runner Trail Edition. She's a little muddy right now. We're here at Rendezvous in the Ozarks and Ozark, Arkansas. This is mid-October 2021. Something we've gone to the last couple of years. It's actually been fun. This has been a mud fest. It rained Thursday and yesterday. Finally started to clear up, but it's still a mud hole. So anyway, 2011 4Runner Trail Edition. Depending on where we're going and how long we're going as to how we pack. Most of the time, I've got a second fridge that lives right there where those Home Depot bags are at. I usually use that for a freezer, and then I've got various cargo boxes. I apologize, it's a mess. We're still trying to dry everything out. So, but anyway, it just depends on where we're going. With the dog in there, whether the dog is with us or not, depending on how much room I've got, and that determines on how I pack. Then with that, we have it mated to a 2021 Boreas XT square drop trailer. It's basically a queen size bed on wheels. The rack that's up here on the front, I've had people ask me about that on Facebook and the Boreas group and a few other places. Bought that at Harbor Freight, 60 bucks. It's an ATV 300-pound rack, goes in the front receiver. And take it, I've got 2 water cans, one I use for gray water, the other one is extra water, usually for the dog, and then 2 gas cans. Keep a rotopack on top of the truck, just depending on what's going on. I usually keep at least one to keep that rotopack full, just because you never know. I get about 12 to 15 miles a gallon pulling this trailer whenever we're on the highway. Kind of goes from there with it. So starting out with it at the front, it's got a Cruise Master 360 articulating hitch. It actually is not, it's a little bit different than what you see from some of the others. It has a actually a pin like a fifth wheel on a truck, on a semi. So pins on the back of the truck, sits down on there, you hit this, locks it in place. And then also has an emergency brake for the front end, locks the brakes, and the jockey wheel has got one on it, got a brake on it as well. Front nose box, the top area is storage, it's through and through. Kind of junky right now, again, I'm trying to dry everything out, so again, mostly have gear, keep our annex room and chairs, tarps, a few other things up top. The bottom I've got chocks, blocks, gloves, various other things. The other side on the bottom I've got 2 125-hour AGM batteries, and on top there it's got a 100-watt solar panel to keep everything charged, and the max fan reversible. That thing right there, even in the desert and here in the southeast, it works really well. Keeps it quite comfortable. The doors are winter rated, so you can have it closed like that, keeps everything nice and toasty. It's got the 1.5 inch worth of insulation between it. There's no wood on this trailer, it's all steel, aluminum, and composites. But they're through air. Basically just take this, run it across, lock the back. And the screen door, you can either leave it open, keep the bugs, or leave it open if you want, there's no bugs. Close it, and it locks up. The inside of the cabin, so it's basically just an RV queen. It's quite comfortable for both of us. We have no problems with it. Got again junky storage space. I apologize, but cabinets all the way across. The one here on the left closest to us is a deeper cabinet. The heater core is in that as well. It's a propane heater on a thermostat, so it's not an on or off proposition. It'll run at the temperature you set, and it does its job for sure. LED lighting around, adjustable across the top of the cabin, around the front and both sides. And then you've got 2 USB plugs, a 12-volt plug, 110 outlet if you're plugged in somewhere at a campground. It's about the only time that works. That only works when you're plugged into 110. Coming back outside, it's got 17-inch wheels. Trailer came with BFG KO2s, and it works out well with the 4Runner for the simple fact that if I get a flat on the 4Runner, even though that's a 6-bolt pattern, they actually will bolt up to the Toyota lug. Well, they bolt up to the Toyota. Well, from what I understand, this trailer, when it was designed by Boreas in Colorado, it was built with a 4Runner in mind. It's well balanced. Gross weight's 3,500 pounds, and as I've got it sitting right now, when it's fully loaded, it's got about 260-pound tongue weight. So the back of the truck, I have no modifications on the suspension. It's all original, and it only drops at a ½ inch. So it does quite well, and it rides well. I have a 20-gallon propane tank on it. It comes standard with an 11. I ordered the 20 for extra, just because I already have 20s. I carry that one. The one on the ground's one I use for the fire pit. There's the dog. Hey, puppy dog. You gotta get in the way. Inside the Pelican case is a on-demand hot water outdoor shower. Again, runs off of propane. Works quite well. The 23.0 little thing up there is a little shower enclosure, but works out. It's got underneath I have a 30-gallon water tank, and that will usually last us with the dog 3 to 5 days. We're not huge on water consumption. We try to conserve, just because you never know where you're at. Hush. She's chasing the shadow of the light. Backside closed up. Kitchen galley is all in here, and very easy. It locks up, comes up. That's it, closed up. Top 2 is cabinets. I put these little shelves up there being held on with magnets that I super glued onto the doors just to give us some extra room. Use them for sponges or spices, or just depends on what we're doing. Again, it's kind of junky. It's been wet. Haven't had a chance to really go through everything, but top and bottom storage for the cabinets, where we keep all of our cooking utensils, cookware, the most important part of the day, the coffee, all of our extra stuff, anything that you would use in your kitchen at home, or your kitchen box if you're carrying boxes with you whenever you're traveling. That's kind of everything that's in those boxes, so that's one less box I have to carry with me in the truck. I can also, if I wanted to, mount them on top. There's a rack that goes across the top. The only thing I've got up there mounted right now is a shovel, and I've got a 4-foot piece of PVC that I use to put my Wii Boost to get it higher. Again, in the back we've got more LED lighting. Goes around the top here, and got that one there on the tailgate. So another 12-volt plug, double USB for that. That's for the water pump. And then you come out with this, and I apologize, I'm trying to do this one-handed without a selfie stick. Sink comes out. Pump is back here mounted on the deck. The drain hose is back here. That water is my extension, depending on if I'm in some place where they don't mind you dumping gray water. Dual burner Suburban propane stove. Again, it's kind of dirty. It was really windy and still spitting rain a little bit last night whenever we were cooking supper, so I didn't get a chance to clean it up quite well. But does its job. I found that I got a cast iron griddle that fits really nicely on this, and keeps it fairly clean, and it cooks quite well. So close this back up. I have a Truma. It came with a Truma 60-quart fridge. It's It's got Bluetooth on it, so you can control it from your phone. Get your temp set. It stays within 2 degrees of where I set it. Even out in the desert in the spring, it was over 100 degrees several days in Death Valley, and it stayed right where it was. It's got an extra USB port on that if you need to charge something else off of it on the control side. And then it's fairly deep. We haven't eaten a whole bunch, but you've got a deep compartment with the shelf in it. Comes down, so all the storage space underneath, and you have this little right here. And again, pardon the dog. She just wants to get in. All LED lighting on the trailer. Tail lights, backup lights, marker lights are all LED. Spare tires mounted on the side. Came with a 8x8 23/0 awning, and I've got the ARB Touring 8x8 annex room that goes with it. That's the dog's house, and kind of where we go from there with it. So this will be the other side. You've got a dual pass-through, and come in around. Porch lights on the outside if you want to use them. We like to use the lanterns just because it's a little bit less light. Electrical for your 110 and your water storage, or excuse me, your water inlet. Drain is on the bottom. Coming underneath, again, it's got another 2-inch receiver. I keep a shackle on it, and I usually use it just to hang a trash bag on, put it in the trash refrigerator. Underneath, I don't know how well that's going to come out because my screen's not showing, but it's got a Cruise Master CS2 single coil dual shock trailing arm suspension on both sides. Works quite well. The trailer's really stable. We've driven it or drug it probably a little over 1,000 miles. I'd say anywhere between 1,100 and 1,200 miles since we bought it and off-road. We've put almost 10,000 on it since we bought it we bought it last year, ordered it, and I picked it up in January. But it's got almost 10,000 miles on the trailer, and it's been rock solid. There's the water tank under there. It's got a skid plate on it, keep it from getting bashed with the spigot, keeps everything up and off. And come around, there's Carrie educating herself, for those of you who know her. And then just walking around, and here's our setup on the end. This is what it would look like on the side. I don't have the zipper up on this, just to give the dog a little shade. But that's basically it. I've got pictures. A lot of people have seen the pictures on Facebook and stuff, what she looks like hooked up. Like I said, it tows like a dream. I mean, I know it's back there with the 4Runner, with my Tundra. Not so much, but 4Runner does exactly what it's supposed to do, and great trailer. I'm happy with the purchase. I do highly recommend the Boreas. The XTs are great. They have a lower model. It's an AT, which is the same shell. It just doesn't come with the kitchen. It'll be cheaper, and they also have a newer model that's actually got a 4-person area to sleep with a pop-up, and you can stand up in it. And I believe it's got an inside shower, but that's going to be for later on. Again, pardon all the mud. This place has been a mud fest. That mud pit right there has been hell. They finally blocked it off this morning, but we went out trail riding yesterday afternoon, and that was 4 low and locked, and I was sweating it there for a minute. Last thing, since I didn't get to this box, since we're on the side, this is again the pass-through storage. Top section, again, kind of junky. I apologize. Dual batteries. It comes with one. I ordered the second to have a dual battery set up on it. Charge controllers mounted on the back bulkhead over there, and I put a Renogy 1000-watt inverter on it. You can order one from Boreas with it, but I just didn't order it at the time, and thought about it before we took our spring trip. I was like, you know what, I need an inverter. So that's where I mounted mine. I'm not sure where they mount theirs at, but that's kind of where I did mine at, and it's quite convenient. So, and you also have a Zamp plug right here if you have an extra set of solar. I've got a suitcase, a Renogy 100-watt suitcase in the box up here that with a Zamp adapter. So if I wanted to add more, if my batteries were getting low, it had been cloudy for several days and I wasn't getting the charge I needed, I can throw that other panel on there and double my capacity up to 200 watts if need be. But with that, that'll be it, and I appreciate your time, patience, Yeah, sorry if I kind of rambled, but it's my first time doing this. I've been on Brent's YouTube channel a couple times, but it was just kind of him passing along. So anyway, quick and dirty on it. Carrie says goodbye. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. We're going to hang out here today, go up to the front, take a look at what the vendors have got to offer, see if I can find something else to spend some money on, pack up in the morning and head back to real life. And depending on how this goes, at least on the trips, I may start documenting stuff and just put it on my little YouTube channel, just for us. You know, if it takes off, it's never going to take off. I mean, we don't do anything that's, you know, hardcore or anything else like that. But give a quick overview. We got some people just kind of packing up and calling it day now. But just to give you kind of an idea of what we got. A lot of people are out. They left their setups and they're out trail riding and what have you, and go from there. We got it down the bottom of the field all the way up where the building's right up there. There's another campground up on the other side of the trees. It's kind of the family area. We got here a little late, so we ended up in the overflow. And the Mulberry River is on the other side of those bushes, and with as much rain as there was the last several days, she's running, and it was nice to go to sleep at that last night. So with that, again, have a great day, guys, and see you next time. Again, looking for dirt, LKN4DRT, looking for dirt is going to be the YouTube channel. 73.